Okay, so let's listen to the article from Unit 8, Lesson 5. We're learning about laws protecting children, and this article is called Child Abuse.
Child abuse. For many of us, it's unbelievable that an adult would ever seriously hurt a child. Unfortunately, every year, many adults are guilty of physical abuse, emotional abuse, or neglect of one or more children. Child abuse is a shame, but it's more than that. It's against the law. Federal law basically says that an act or failure to act is child abuse if it results in death, serious physical or emotional harm, or neglect. States determine their own definitions of physical or emotional harm and neglect, but the following are some possible examples. Physical abuse. When a parent or guardian injures a child, causing any harm from minor bruises to death, this is physical abuse. Beating, kicking, shaking, throwing, choking, and hitting a child are all types of physical abuse. Even if the abuser did not intend or mean to harm the child, what matters is whether the child has been injured. Emotional abuse. When a parent or guardian constantly criticizes a child, this is emotional abuse. Other types of emotional abuse include threats, rejection, and failure to give love, support, or guidance. Emotional abuse is often hard to prove, and officials may not be able to take any action unless there is real evidence of harm. However, emotional abuse often occurs alongside physical abuse. Neglect. When a parent or guardian fails to give a child necessary food or shelter, this is neglect. Other kinds of neglect include denying a child medical or mental health treatment, failing to educate a child, and ignoring a child's emotional needs, including permitting a child to use alcohol or drugs. Emotional neglect is hard to prove. In some states, anyone who suspects child abuse is required to report it. In other states, only people in certain positions are required to report child abuse. These people include doctors and other medical personnel, teachers and other school employees, social workers, daycare workers, and others who are in frequent contact with children. When these people have a reason to suspect abuse, they are required by law to report it. Usually, reports are made to CPS, Child Protective Services. CPS decides whether there is reason to investigate. Investigations may result in criminal charges, but sometimes, even if abuse is confirmed, the abuser will not go to jail, but instead must attend a special program to learn to stop the abuse. If the CPS workers decide that it's necessary for the safety of a child, the child may be temporarily removed from the home. In such cases, children are often placed in foster care while one or both parents get help. For more information, contact your state's child welfare program.
Okay, so please open your book, and we are going to read this article. We'll talk about new words and phrases after we read it. And I also want to ask you to look at Blackboard for a moment. So in Blackboard, in Unit 8, and Lesson 5, you'll see a note-taking handout that goes with this lesson, Laws Protecting Children. You do not, if you didn't print this, that's no problem. But on a piece of paper, I would like you to create this graphic, okay? And so as you listen, I want you to add notes to each one of these three sections. So in class, we have talked about different methods for taking notes and organizing information. We talked about an outline, And there are many different graphic organizers. This is one of them. Remember your note taking when you are in a class, listening to a lecture, listening to your instructor's talk, or when you are reading, your notes are always a tool. And so you do not have to write complete sentences. You do not have to write full words. You can use abbreviations. You can use images. Anything that you can understand is okay. And so here's the goal for this. We're going to listen to this article, and you're going to have your book open. And I want you to draw this image on a piece of paper. And as you listen to the article talk about physical abuse, I want you to add some notes to this section. You can draw lines and circles coming off that abuse, or you can make a box and put some notes in that box. Then you're going to hear about and read about emotional abuse and neglect. And so whatever information you can add to this, please do it. Again, this will be with your book open. Then I'm going to ask you to close your book, and we're going to listen one more time, and you're going to add to your notes. And then we will get into small groups and discuss our notes at that time.